Everybody asking, are you coming on tonight?
Actually, we're taking the night off tonight. Charlie and I are going to be playing an online game of checkers.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing fine. Other than just a long day, I'm doing okay, brother. Doing okay.
Awesome, awesome. Oh
You,
man.
you know what I find out. What I'm finding out is we have pretty much, if you think about it, you and I in 7 months, because we've done it every single night, we have pretty much tapped out the possible guests you can get. You know what I'm saying? We put out feelers and everything, and I've come to the conclusion we have beat up this subject. We have looked. I mean, I even doing some hypothetical situations now that I posting of what if this, what if that. I mean, God, it's
Yeah, well, Charlie was busy all day today, so we did not speak at all today, which is
yeah.
kind of unusual. Um, it is just Charlie and I tonight. We don't have a guest, but we're gonna talk about whatever comes to our mind because tomorrow is October 15th, and we had an awesome week or 2 weeks actually with guests that talked about everything, like you said, Charlie, everything possible. Um, and tomorrow's D-Day, and we'll see how this thing pans out. I did reach out to the tourism authority in Tahiti as well as the health department. This morning I sent them emails. I'm trying to get a handle on the numbers. A doctor messaged me, and again, not that I going to challenge the lieutenant governor because he got it from the leadership in Tahiti, but I just want to see what their numbers are, and how can they explain the massive numbers of cases that they're having that's based on community spread. When if you go to the Tahiti website and they talk about what is going on in Tahiti, yes, they're not locked down, but masks mandatory. I mean, there's a lot of protections in place. Um, so that's one of the things we're going to talk about tonight. The other thing, don't forget vote, guys. I voted today. It's all sealed. I got my signature. I'm going to deliver it personally, deliver it tomorrow. Um, I'm not going to tell you who to vote for, but I will tell you, as we talked about the other night, about the last two items on the charter amendments, um, where the Charter Review Commission is asking you all to support. They put a letter to the editor asking you to support all of the provisions, and they're trying to, the only thing I'm going to tell you, the last two regarding reducing the qualifications of the county engineer as well as the water manager, please vote no. Please vote no. That's the only two I'm going to chime in on. The rest, you vote for who you believe is going to represent you best. But don't forget, the most important thing is do not make sure you vote. Make sure you vote.
Yeah.
The other thing is we got a lot of questions. I just had a messenger right now as we're on this show from someone who's trying to fill out that travel form, and it won't let them do. I will get to that after the show. I'll definitely get to that after the show. I'll message you back. But there's a lot of questions, about the travel. We're curious to see what the numbers going to look like as far as arrivals this next week, 7 days, maybe the next 10 days. Um, and then the other thing is about making sure that we don't take our frustrations out on the visitors. I mean, that's another thing I like to talk about tonight because I can sense the level of frustration mounting. There's a lot of fear out there, and I don't know how to reduce that fear. I have people that, Charlie, we've been accused of fear mongering, but at the end of the day, we've been providing is the best facts available, I think, and people can construe that as fear mongering. That's your opinion, but we this stuff is real. We are it's I don't know if I know our viewers appreciate the importance of protecting ourselves, but in the next couple of weeks, we should be seeing some increase in cases, and we just got to really focus on taking care of ourselves and our families. That's really, because I don't expect any kind of change. Uh, I wish the tourists would understand that coming to Hawaii at this time is too much of a risk for our islanders. And themselves. I mean, selfishly, yeah. I mean, why would they come here? But also, why would I go anywhere during a pandemic? Why would I travel? Please don't take any of this personally. I know some of you folks jumped on a plane and went visit or whatever. But why would you want to do that during a pandemic, going to a city where you could possibly get sick? So, it is what it is, and people gonna do what they do, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Well, this is just my Uncle Charlie Iona opinion. If it's worth a damn to any of you, I think when we were first told that the numbers would be 1 in 1,000, and that most of the infections were community spread, I took that as the lines are being drawn by the lieutenant governor. Wasn't anybody else. It was being drawn by him saying, well, the locals are the one, people from the residents here are the one that's the reason why the numbers are so high. It's not the traveler. And even though he's right about that, I would have broke out the news a lot different than that. Because everyone knows that whether it's a traveler from Hawaii or a traveler coming to visit Hawaii, it came on the plane over here, right? It came from outside the borders. It wasn't here to begin with. So I think that's the first thing. The second thing is, if you think about it and you're so confident that the traveler will not bring in anything other than one per whatever, then you ask yourself, then why are all the shops at the airport closed? I know some reasons are given, there's not enough travelers. But then there was also reasons given that they don't want congregating. Okay, so if you're so sure that the virus is not going to come in with the traveler, then you should let the traveler congregate. Like how they congregate at the hotel,
Yep.
right? But I know what you're going to tell me. No, but we still have to social distance. So then my response is, so then are you sure of your initial statement? Are you sure of the initial statement that we're probably not going to have that much coming in by travelers? Because if you're that sure, you ought to let them congregate without no worries. But you're not sure. So what we're saying is that's the reason why for the second test, so we can eliminate the unknowns. But when you don't even want to do that, then I guess it is what it is.
Somebody somebody texted me the other night, said, hey, if the governor and the lieutenant governor are so sure of the safety, then why don't they uh, comfort us by saying that if they're wrong, they'll give up their seats in office? Because I think everybody's concerned. The requesting the supplemental nursing personnel to the state. I know they're saying that it's to relieve the people now, but no, I mean that's a very convenient reason, but they know that we will get. I mean, and if they acknowledge it, that we will see an increase in cases, but for them, it's just we are able to handle the increase. That's how they justify it. They never mind more people died today. Somebody asked about the 10 deaths today. It was 3 deaths. 7 was from months ago. I don't know how they're, again, how do they expect us to trust them when they're reporting 7 deaths that occurred prior.
Mel, you know what they call this, Mel? This is called conditioning. We stop now, we confuse you now, so when you're planning this later, you're not going to question us. That's what he's
Yeah.
doing.
No, no,
That's what he's
you
doing
know,
right now.
there's probably yeah, it's probably a strategy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I, you know, I don't, I don't understand it. I don't get it. Uh, you know, I don't consider myself OCD. Definitely not OCD. But you know, when it comes down to, and my wife will tell you, you know, everything, all my books, all my bills, everything is reconciled every month. You know, I keep track of what we do. Um, I I don't know. It's not difficult. It takes time. It takes a commitment. It takes that discipline. That when a bill comes in, you go to your program and you do what you do, and you track everything. And at the end of the month, you reconcile your bank statement. You make sure that you know where you sit. I don't get it, Charlie. I mean, as police officers, we investigated thousands and thousands of crimes or cases, I should say. Not everything we investigate are crimes, but and you know, you everything has to be complete. Everything has to be in chronological order. Everything has to be accurate. And you think about the amount of resources that the state has just in the Department of Health, and they cannot get it right. Uh, you know, by the way, the auditor did a report on the self quarantine program of the state of Hawaii. Now, I had intended to read that report, but it came out late. It's on the website. It's on the auditor's website tonight. So if you have a chance, go ahead and read it. I didn't even read the executive summary because I just was too busy. I didn't have a chance tonight. But it's on there. It's a limited scope. I saw the title. I wasn't able to read it. I know they did. I browsed through the recommend. There's like 7 or 8 recommendations, but really, the recommendations as I saw was simply putting people in charge and holding them accountable. Right now, there's nobody in charge. There's a lot of miscommunication, the transparency. So that was a lot of the recommendations was about. But I'm not going to comment too much because I got to read it. It's a pretty lengthy report. But if you think about it, going back to the beginning, Charlie, and I'm not saying this to be, well, I am saying this to be critical. What has worked well? And Charlie, I'm not asking for one joke response, but just think about it. What from the start, and you know, we have been, uh, I'm not going to say we're on the front line, but we have been on top of this for 7 months. We have heard from, I mean, think about it. We've heard from doctors, we've heard from nurses, we've heard from victims or survivors of COVID. We've heard from attorneys. We've heard from vaccine experts. We've heard from epidemiologists. We've heard from all kinds. We've heard from regular people. But let me just put this challenge out to you, Charlie. What worked well? And I mean this. Let's try to what worked well at the state level. We know on Kauai we did a fantastic job.
Well,
You know,
let me
but
answer
what
that.
seriously, what segment of our state government worked well?
I'm going to put it this way. First, I'd like to say, I don't know if there's any of you out there that likes to be corrected or disciplined, because I sure as hell don't like it. I like to think that I try to be as right as possible, but when I make a mistake, I be humble enough to apologize if I offended anybody. That's one. That's me. Okay. Having said that, what you're saying, what's worked well? A lot of things worked well after they got scoldings, right? After they got called on their boo boos, then things started to change for the better. I think in the beginning, in the early months, we had a lot of time to scramble and we had a lot of time to move into right positioning. But it seems like we never did. We went like, like one of these, whoo, we made it by the skin of our teeth, something like that. Because they didn't do anything very spectacular to get up ahead, really far, far ahead. So what worked? I can say right now, and I'll be honest, Mel, I don't think anything worked. I really don't. And I'm sorry. Because if it did work, right, one thing that could have worked, and even that they missed the boat, is messaging, doing the message right to let the people know what the hell was going on. We talked about it, transparency. Look how long it took before they started to like reveal certain things, like the contact tracing, like they didn't have enough of them, right? It took a while before the BS got brought out into the open. So now everybody can take a breather. Everybody can say, see, we was right. Well, yeah, you guys are all right. Everybody was right. We knew something was wrong because we saw symptoms. There were symptoms out there mimicking that something's definitely wrong. But like us and you out there in viewer land, we can only do so much because we're not the ones calling the shots. Yet we keep on bringing it up. Okay? We keep the story alive. We don't let the story go on the back burner. And that's why I want to give credit to all the viewers, all the people who have been faithfully watching the Mel and Charlie show, because all the all the kukai that was going on, you folks kept it alive. You kept it on the forefront. And you, like Mel have said many times, there's people that watch. And I believe there's people in places that started to catch on and say, damn, we're getting nailed. We better do some tweaking of this thing. But in all honesty, Mel, I don't think there is anything that really worked well, except
Well,
for what Derek did, for the things that he did, what Kauai did. But that's just being partial because we're from Kauai. But other than that,
I mean, you know, being partial, but the proof is in the pudding. I mean,
yeah, the numbers.
the proof is in the pudding. I mean, that's how you analyze things, right? If you're doing an assessment of three different methods of operation and you want to find the most efficient, you look at the end result, and you can kind of tell what worked and what didn't. But as I think back, and I'm really trying to be objective, when I look back to when this all started and the state came out and they were reporting the numbers every day. Remember, every day at noon, the report came out. And in the beginning, I honestly believe that the numbers were accurate. It was at a level where we could actually report accurate numbers. Everybody waited. I did my daily post. I waited for the report, and then I would do my daily post and kind of highlight the numbers. And I think back then the reporting was accurate. I believe that in the beginning. I'm talking about the beginning when we first started getting cases. And then I think it just got overwhelming, and they just couldn't control, and they were spewing out whatever they could, whatever they had. And sometimes it was coming out at 10:45, sometimes it was coming out at 11:15, sometimes it was coming out at 1 p.m. And then the numbers started uh, being inaccurate, and Kauai was getting our numbers after the report. I mean, I think in the beginning, when everything was new and when they were actually trying their best to handle this pandemic, I think they were on the right track. And then I just believe this with all my heart, is that as they started to list their priorities, and they got freaked out. I think people got freaked out when they realized that we were heading for an economic disaster, that we were heading for uh, a situation like we've never had before. We've had hurricanes. The hurricane was limited to Kauai and some of Honolulu. We had the volcano eruptions on the Big Island, but it was limited to that island. So the rest of the state was functioning, and the economy wasn't affected statewide. It was affected in those communities that were had the incidents. But this one was different because it was the whole state, and they knew. And I know from early on, I think the focus and this is just my assessment after 7 months. I think the focus, rather than be on the health and safety, it became on the economy. And we were doing things to focus on getting the economy restarted. And I think not enough emphasis was placed on the health and safety and the health impacts that this pandemic was going to cause. That in fact we were going to be, people were going to be dying. I honestly don't think that they, I don't, unless they're foolish, they cannot, they should have known that we were no different than any other location in the world, that we were no different than any other state in our country, that this virus was going to affect Hawaii just like it did everywhere else if we weren't careful. I remember Kauai, we did the curfew, we did the kind of somewhat stay at home before the governor did, and it worked. It put us in a, I guess, in a mindset that this thing was real. We need to take care of ourselves. So while the people, I mean, while the mayor and his team started the ball rolling early on, got a lot of flack for it. The people did their part, and they listened, and I think that's why we're in the position we're at. But the focus changed, and then it was all of a sudden we got to get the this. How are we gonna get the tourists back? That came early on. How are we gonna get our visitors back? How are we gonna get tourism back? And then the pressure mounted on our decision makers, and then they started to make decisions that would speed up the welcoming back of the visitor industry. So we saw the dates change, August, September, because every time that deadline approached, we had a lot of cases. We had people dying, and they couldn't do it. But the pressure got so tough that they set the October 15th deadline, and then nothing was going to stop it. And look at the numbers in Honolulu, back to triple digits in the state, back to triple digits. The and we're still talking about this
Yeah,
is going to be
yeah.
relatively safe.
But again, I'm not speaking in defense of them. What they're going to say is quite simply that, yeah, those triple digits is not attributed to the traveler. That's what they're going to say. Okay, and
Yeah.
and and the thing about it is, they're always finding that easy way out. Now, granted, for me, I think you have the governor at the head of the table. Then you have this long rectangular table where one side you have all the medical science, the other side you have all the economic. It's like when the House meets the Senate, right? They meet at some point, right? And they start going through things, especially when it's a budget time, right? They start looking at things. Apparently, and I can only surmise this from what's already have taken place. They had this long rectangular table, and science gave its case, and the economy gave its case. But it got so confusing to both sides that I don't think they made their case to the governor. You know what? Yes, the economy is very important, but we must balance it with the safety of the community because of this virus. So what had happened is they started to. It almost has the appearance of what came first, then what came second, what followed second, and that's how it's been. So you're right. In the beginning, it was always health first, and it led the charge this way. Then all of a sudden, economy it shifted, and the economy started to go. I get it, but then just because economy is in trouble, you don't erase the safety measures because one doctor already said it. If we don't worry about the safety of our health and we get overcome by this, you don't have to worry about the economy because the deaths that occur or the bad things that occur because we don't have enough safety measures in place, it will doom the economy. How? We're going to get on shutdown one more time. And we talked about that because why? It's very evident that our leaders, we can see their true colors. When they get that knee jerk reaction, you already know, you feel it. Okay, gang, our fears are going to come true right now and they're going to make an announcement. It is with great regret. We got to do blah, blah, blah. Next thing you know, boom, we're going to plummet. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to see that coming. And that's the thing. I said, okay, how do we prevent that from happening? We can. We talk about the safety because if you're comparing to 6 days of quarantine to take that second test, that's all we ask, right? Just imagine 6 days of quarantine. Is that more dreaded than a complete shutdown? Well, you're not going to get any tourists. If you had to do the comparison, do the numbers. Is 6 days that bad that it's going to throw off? Should something go wrong, that we're going to be in a total lockdown, then you don't even have to worry about the tourists coming because we're going to be back to the same old damn thing it was a couple months back.
You know, I always remind myself half of something is better than all of nothing. And you bring up a really good point. We know. Um, See, there's not much. It's not much of a decision to have to shut down again. I mean, once this thing blows up, they'll have no choice. And the frustrating part about all of this, and we talked about this a few nights ago, Charlie, was there was a way to do it. And I know you talk about the 6 days. While 6 days was preferred, they could have even gone to 4 days. I mean, I think some of the experts were, the doctors were saying, even four, everyone prefers six. So do I. If you read the studies, it tells you clearly, six, you pretty much catch them all. But even if we went with four, and if we had started with the inter-island, hold off on the Trans-Pacific, focus on the system. Right now, we know that tomorrow is going to be mayhem at the airports. We know that Hawaiian Airlines did a what
Beta
do they
test.
call that? The
Beta
beta,
test.
and it was a cluster F. It was a bomb. It just did not work. And tomorrow, now they're going to do it live with thousands of people coming in. So we know that's going to cause some problems, whatever. But we had an opportunity to develop this plan, make it airtight, have all the logistics in place, whether we're doing the app, we're doing the forms, whatever we're doing the test, whatever we're doing, and hey, do a trial run inner island. Do a trial run inner island for 3 weeks, a month, 6 weeks. Make sure all of the logistics work. Make sure all of the areas that these people are rushing into right now, make sure they all work. Make sure our contact tracing is in place. We know that's not working either as of last week. We make sure everything is before we even think of bringing people from areas around the country that has some major cases. We had an opportunity to do this right. We had an opportunity to have the best of both worlds. We could have done it, and we chose not to. In fact, we chose to say we're not letting you guys travel. Well, that has changed since yesterday, inner island, but we're going to make sure that our visitors are catered to. You know, I don't know if you remember, Charlie, when you had learned to ride on bicycle. Now, you get two ways to ride a bicycle, to learn how to ride a bicycle. Number one is if you could afford it, you bought training wheels and you ride your bicycle with training wheels, right? And your mom or your dad or your big brother or whoever, grandpa, you know, get you to learn how to ride a bike with training wheels. Well, I never have training wheels. And I can remember this like was yesterday, Charlie. I remember this Texera track in Kalaheo. We had a long cement driveway, and I remember my dad pushing me on the bike without training wheels. And you would go for a little while, and then boom, you fall down. You go boom. Eventually, after a lot of falling down, you can balance. See, we had an opportunity to restart this economy using training wheels, using the inner island market, opening up our businesses so that our inner island, our local residents throughout the state could travel, patronize the local establishments, and not put us at risk with the mainland visitor. We could have done that. And you know what? If we didn't work, then we know we're not ready to bring in the visitors. But no, we decided to go without training wheels, and we just gonna push the bike with with the little kid on top, and he gonna fall. And he will fall again, and he gonna get Chicago's. That's all right. Makiracom. I don't know if you remember Makiracom and Matailit. put that on, put the belt. You remember that, Charlie? A little red, the brown bottle.
Us guys in Kali, we used to use the father used the chew the camel cigarette, the tobacco, and
Oh
pack
yeah,
them on.
yeah,
Yeah, they used to do
yeah.
that and kerosene. Whew.
See, and that is Charlie. That's the thing, man. You know, we know we had options, and all the experts shared their options. I mean, even the visit industry was talking about let us open up the inner island so we can get the flow. No, man, no, no, we're not. We're not. In fact, you know what? See, everybody remember the
You,
mercurochrome and the methylate.
you know what's important? What you're saying. You look at boxers. They get one up and coming boxer. They don't make him go fight one world title right from the get go because they know he's gonna get dirty leaking. They slowly get him up to snuff. So they put people that are good but not at the top. Then they go to the next level and they go to the next level. That's so the trainers can see, is he ready for the big fight or not? That's what you're talking about, Mel. Are we ready to get in that ring and slam it out? The answer is no.
Well, you can. The problem I have with this is, and listen, trust me, and again, my wife will tell you, I would consider myself an adventure seeker. You know, I like doing crazy things like bungee jumping and I, you know, that's just me. But you see, when I jump off on platform 200 feet in the air on a bungee, if that bungee broke, I die. Charlie, you know, die. If I see, no, I'm serious. You take risks that affect you. That's what people do. You know. But when you roll the dice, and if that dice crap out, and people get sick or die, then that's where you gotta draw the line. That's where you gotta draw the line. Um, and they know this, and they should have listened. Now, listen. I hope, I hope, and I actually pray, because I pray every night. I pray that we all are wrong. Charlie, I hope you're wrong. I really do. I hope I'm wrong. I hope all the doctors are wrong. I hope everybody we've had on the show is wrong. I hope the lieutenant governor is right. I hope the governor is right. I do. I do. And if they are, if we get through this and we get this economy bounces back and everybody's back to work and 10,000 visitors arrive every day in the state and we get no cases, Charlie, I know you and me will be the first to come up here and say, damn, we should have listened. I sit my ass right up here and apologize to every single one of you. Now, I'm not one doctor. I never read all the research, medical papers. I never read all the publications. But I trust the people that came on the show enough that I believe they did and they participate. They work in the field. They work frontline. Dr. T last night, I mean, amazing doctor. He talked about things that were just common sense, you know, and it didn't get through. But it wasn't just Dr. T. It was doctors from all over the world. Uh, so, but I hope we're wrong, Charlie. I hope we're wrong, man.
But
I'll be a happy camper if we're wrong.
here's another thing that's kind of really bothering me. I heard something that the mayor said today, which is so right. This monopoly that's happening now. The approved, and I'll give you an example. When they told us that they was going to open up on the 15th, I handle screening for a company that brings workers up from Oahu. Okay, so they wanted the workers to come up and not quarantine. So they said they're going to approve the inter island with testing. So what did I do? I reached out. I went to our friends, doctors of Waikiki. Can you test these guys? Because I know you guys got those PCR, and they have their own labs right there at their clinic. Okay, because I wanted to do the right thing. Even before that, even if they had to go to quarantine, I was going to test these guys anyway. Here's the problem: we pay to get them tested, then we find out, oh, Dr. T is not on the approved list for testing for travel. You only get one set list, right? So when the set list starts setting the pricing to get one test, you buy one ticket at close to $200 one way, then you pay for a test at $300. That's $500 just to fly up here. Where's the competition? So we can help drive the cost down. So make it affordable. That's why, they worrying about the tourism not going to rebound. Yeah. What about the locals? They like travel. But you know what? Keep the tests high. Just keep them high. Then you're going to see people are not going to like pay those kind of prices. Just imagine you got to take a test if you like go island hopping. Every island you go to, you take one test. So theoretically, if you go from Oahu to Kauai, Kauai to Maui, you're going to be paying the ticket plus an additional $600 if you got a test, forget one negative test or positive test, whatever the case may be.
So Charlie, Dr. T, you cannot go to Dr. T for a test for the travel?
It's not one of the approved. That's what they say tonight on the news. Got to be on the approved list for inter-island travel.
Okay, he never donate money to the campaign. Shit, I sent 3 people today. 3 people called me today about going to Honolulu. In fact, that was the next thing I wanted to talk about, is inter-island testing. I told them, go Dr. Waikiki. So I apologize if you guys are watching. I'm sorry. I guess you cannot go there.
Oh, now let me say this. I am sorry if I'm wrong. I'm just going by what I'm reading on the news. They listed those approved, and they're working on getting more. But if you're going to open on the 15th, all I hear in my head is, oh, you got to go here on tests so you can avoid the 14-day quarantine. Okay, I'm doing the right thing. I'm going to an accredited medical doctor that can give the test and get the results.
Well, that bothers me, but this is I was posed a question this morning. I got a call this morning from a friend that needs to go to Honolulu on Friday, come back Sunday. So she was asking all these questions about I said 72 hours. He said, well, Mel, I'm not going to be away for 72 hours. So can I take a test on Kauai and use that test? So I reached out to the mayor's office, and it was clarified that you have to take the test in the county that you're departing from.
Yeah.
Okay. So stay with me on this. Stay with me, because this is probably one of the dumbest things out of all of this. And when you talk about wasting tests, when you telling us, no, Derek, Mayor Kawakami, you cannot test your people, our visitors, because of resources or whatever crap they said. But this is what the state is requiring. So I fly out on Friday. I pahan on 4:30. I jump on a plane 6 o'clock. I get to Honolulu. I go to my family. I go to the store. I go Ala Moana. I go to the restaurant. I go wherever I go. Sunday, I come home last flight or whatever. So what I told my friend to do was go to Dr. T. And gosh, I guess you cannot. But anyway, you take the test on Sunday. You take that rapid test, you get your little result, you come back to Kauai, quarantine free. Quarantine free. Now, you never had the virus when you left Kauai, but you might have picked it up on Oahu. But you take this test on Sunday, I don't give a damn how close the exposure you had. Your test result ain't gonna show it on Sunday. It just won't. So you get a negative test, you feel all good. Now you come Kauai, and I'm gonna just say that you got exposed on Oahu, and then you come back home, and then you got the clean bill of health, no more second test. So now you go out and expose your people. See, that test was a useless test, because you're only in Honolulu for 72 hours, or even if you had another day. your test is not going to test. You will not get a positive reading. Even if the guy with positive COVID had spit in your face, it's just your viral load is not high enough. You're not going to test positive. So now you come back home and you infect people. Is it your fault? No, because you followed the rules. But that's how the spread occurs. Now, imagine that flight had 12 people, 14 people, 18 people, 20 people that did the same thing. You only need one. Because now you're going to come back home, you're going to be in your household, you're going to work, you're going to expose your workmates. This is how this virus can go from 0 to 1,000 or 2,000, like that. And when that happens, we're doomed. You see, that whole freaking 72-hour bullshit test is useless. And Governor, you talk about resources. You talk about resources. You scold me to tell me that those tests should be used for people that are at high risk. I agree. But you're painting this picture and making everyone believe that this system is safe, and it's not. In fact, it's very dangerous. See, you go to Honolulu where you have virus. Now remember, remember Dr. T talked about the embers in a forest fire? So you get the virus, the existing virus in our state. Now you can be adding embers. And then you're going to have our own people traveling inside our own state, passing on the virus. Of course, we're going to get blamed. You know that when the numbers rise, it's going to come back on us because we never wear our masks, because we go congregate with friends and family, because we went to funerals, because it won't be the visitors. No way. We going to be responsible. You know that already. It's been that way from day one. So that, number one, is a useless test. So if you're going to use that system, you may as well not test at all for inter-island. I mean, Charlie, correct me if I'm wrong. I was thinking about this all day today. I never really put much thought in it because I had assumed that we were going to have that second test. And if you had the second test, you would. So same scenario. You come home Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you test again. If you got exposed with enough viral load that I would say a high percentage of those people would test positive on the second test. But they would have been in quarantine all that time, so they wouldn't have been exposing anybody. So just imagine, I don't care. Let's take Dr. Green's number. He said 1 in 1,000. Tahiti said 1 in 700 or 1 in 800. Let's just use those numbers. And let's just say you get 20 or 30 people around the state spreading this virus at the restaurant, at the tourist attraction, at the boat ride. You see how the number is going to exponentially grow. And that is, it was bothering me today. And it only bothered me because the 3 people that called me are good friends of mine. And they're in a predicament because one got to go Honolulu for medical reasons. And he's only going for a day. So he got to fly Honolulu, go do his trip, try find a test, which is useless anyway, and then come home and not have a problem.
You know why I think in that scenario, I'm gonna be the devil advocate on this, because it's Honolulu. That's where they get the most virus. That's why they like you test if you're gonna fly back Hawaii. That's the reason. But you're right. You're not gonna be able to tell until several days after. So the thing is, what could be done, right? What could be done is we fly back, go into quarantine, wait a couple days, go take one test, and if the test comes out that nothing manifesting, or we never get nothing, then that releases you from the full 14 days. I would rather do them that way.
Well, and Derek got approval for the voluntary test. So, and I know people, they don't like that. They want the mandatory. You're not going to get them with this governor. You just got to understand that the governor ain't gonna let it happen. So, you got to keep going to a point where you're gonna actually get on approval, and that's what he did. Now, for me, Charlie, if I for some reason had to go to Honolulu for whatever reason, uh, for a medical appointment or for whatever business,
Hmm.
when I came home, I would quarantine myself until I took that second test. I would do that for my wife,
Yep.
for my mother-in-law, for people that I work with. See, I would do that. I would. And if everybody did that, then we would be relatively safe. That's how you isolate the infection. That's how you keep the numbers down. But what we have right now, and we have a lot of people that's been waiting to go see their doctors on Oahu. Not everybody gonna travel inner island because they like a holo holo. Yeah, I know some like, but a lot of our people been waiting to get that procedure done, that non-emergency or non-life-threatening procedure. Might be a hip replacement, a knee replacement, whatever, that they get. Their doctors are on Oahu, and they've been putting off because of the quarantine. Now they have an opportunity. So yeah, I mean, it's I I you we that's where we control our destiny, right? So if you travel, let's say you one of the souls that go to Vegas, you come home. Why even? I wouldn't even take the. You take the test because you like know if you're positive. You don't take the test to avoid quarantine.
You know what I'm gonna do right now? I am gonna text Tony T, and I'm gonna ask him, Tony, have you been informed that you are? Because I know he talked about all the tests he gives now, but that's just for the people in Honolulu, not for the travelers. He made that perfectly clear. But I'm gonna ask him, are you on the approved list? Were you ever given? Were you ever told that your test that you give that it will be approved for travel? I'm gonna text him right now
Okay.
and see what he responds to.
So you know you have that choice. Everybody has that choice, and if you work and even your employers should be allowing you to work from home if possible, if you're coming back from any trip anywhere, because that you don't want your workplace to be a cluster. You don't want your workplace to be a cluster. So you know you want you want to do what's safe for you and your family, obviously. um, Today, by the way, I was looking at the updated numbers today. 48 states had an increase in cases. 48. One of the reports I read today. So this virus is not slowing down. It's not, and the resurgence or the second surge or uh, the perfect storm of flu and COVID. Yeah, the Department of Health asked me to really remind people to get their flu shots. I'm not going to sit in. If you don't believe in vaccines, then ignore what I say. But for those of you that are not against vaccines, go get the flu shot, because this two viruses running around at the same time can be very dangerous for the community. You see, we got to start doing things for the community, not just yourself. And so some people don't take their flu shots. That's fine. But if you don't have a problem with it, uh, please go get your flu shot. Um, People are saying that Dr. T's been testing for a long time. Dr. T, you see, they require a PCR test. In the beginning, I thought PCR only meant the one that goes down into the back of your brain, but PCR apparently is a class, or it's a NAAT or whatever. It's that classification of tests, which includes rapid testing, which includes the take your test at home, go on Zoom. And I know Charlie gonna have a little discussion about his experience with Zoom today teaching a class. But so you order this test, you get the packet, comes in the mail, you log on to Zoom, you sign on, and this guy on the other side of the world will be on there telling you and watching you on Zoom to make sure you did it right. And then you mail it in, and then you get your results. I'm really, really surprised that the governor would even allow that type of testing. But the bottom line is, no more tests. It's hard to get tests on the mainland. And over here, the priority is to get as many tourists in that plane as you can. So uh,
Okay,
they,
I
I remember
just
when
got
the
a
governor first came out and
response.
said we ain't doing no tests at home tests, and then of course he conceded and he allows Hawaiian Airlines to do it. I'm sorry, Charlie, was that?
I just got a response right now. I went through the mayor's office, and they responded to me first. And what it says is that I posed a question. To get an inter-island travel test, can you go to any doctor to get a PCR test or rapid antigen test, or is it does it have to be by the approved location that was set up by the state? The response came back: it's the same standards as safe travels. One, it must be a preferred provider, and two, PCR only. The state is trying to expand, so I re-clarified. So it's only a set location, not a private physician. It says yes, it's a set location, like Walgreens, CVS, Kaiser. They said they got the mail-in telehealth. You can use a mail-in telehealth. Those are the only accepted. So that's why I'm saying the three that I paid for, that we paid for these workers to come over here, they not can use the results. No. And I'm mad at myself because I should have, as the one that's doing the safety screening for these individuals coming over, I should have checked if they had to go to a specific. And that's it.
Unreal. So Dr. T, who has done testing from day one,
Yep.
who has all the various different types of testing.
Yep.
You go to Dr. T and you get a negative PCR test.
Can I use them?
Unbelievable. You see that this is the kinds of things that it's just hard to fathom. It's hard to understand. It's hard to accept. Uh, I just don't get it. I don't get it. And I mean, so you could get a real PCR, which is the gold standard. I'm gonna go all the way down into the back of your brain. So you could go to Dr. T and get a gold standard PCR, the most accurate test, and it's not accepted. Or you can go get this bubblegum kit sent to your house, go on Zoom,
Hmm.
that is, as Dr. T said last night, you lose the accuracy, you go 10%, 10%. But so they'll take a less accurate test from an approved provider before they would take the gold standard from a well-recognized practicing physician in Honolulu.
Yeah. It's tough.
Okay.
You want me to talk about the mail-in testing? The,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, today there's been this thing about the mail-in testing. Uh, and the only way it validates is there would be a Zoom online representative from Vault Health that's going to be witnessing you delivering the samples. Now, here's the problem that I see. First of all, one, for our seniors that's going to travel, how many of them? There's a good amount, but not all of them are familiar with Zoom. Two, you need to know all the nuances once you get online, how that whole thing works. I know because today I held a class, an online CPR class. And the difficulties I have, because trying to control the contrast, which you can't with Zoom, is that my mannequin was a little bit too light for the the imaging that came across. So basically, the students had a really hard time. I should have gone into a darker location. But these are the kind of things that you got to think of, because one of those things is that home kit is a spit kit. What if you don't give the right amount of sample? What if they tell you got to do it more, but yet they're not going to be able, if the lighting is not correct where you take it, you're going to have a really hard time for the the representative to see how much you're giving, how much you're actually putting in. That's why there's all these variables that's they should have thought about it. But we're getting people writing in saying they're getting difficult times with that. What they're supposed to do. So that's it, Mel. In a nutshell, that's it. It's it's crazy. And I just wonder sometimes if the governor just punishing us because from day one, I feel like telling the governor LG, don't get mad with the people of Hawaii because I probably was the loudest critic of you. If you're gonna punish anybody, punish me. But no take it out, no take it out on the innocent people already. Too many people getting, you know, um, indirectly getting bashed. But not their fault. It's not their fault. You want to come after somebody, come after me.
Well, I did want to share something tonight, because this is from our a good friend,
Hey,
uh, Kekua Aloha. It's our a really good friend of ours, an amazing young lady, and she has been working this. Um, she's created this foundation. I think when she was still in high school. Her name is Kaylin Drake, and she has been taking on this the issue of suicide for many years now. She's a young girl, Kamehameha School graduate, and every year they put on events, and unfortunately because of COVID, they had to kind of ease back, but they're doing this honor bead drive through. Um, and it's really a benefit for uh, suicide awareness. And this event will be on October 17th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Paniolo Grill in the back parking lot. And there'll be food, and a portion of the proceeds will go to the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention. So this is a remarkable girl, like I said, and she has been doing this for quite a while. She did an amazing program at the convention hall I think it was last year. Brought on some amazing speakers, and it was just powerful, powerful. And as we head down this time where depression and all of these difficult times for a lot of people, this is how we can help. We can help. October 17th, Portuguese Christmas. Tyson. ICIVA Fire Knife Crew, of course, Keku Aloha Foundation, Paniola Grill. Can somebody Google that? I don't even know where that is. Where's Paniola Grill? Can you Google Paniola Grill? I'm sorry, I don't even know where that is. I should have known. But it's an opportunity for all of us to help in this effort. And they have this change for change, bring your loose change and ashtray coins and drop it in our change for change bucket to benefit the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention Hawaii chapter. So Paniolo, yeah, I don't know. Kapa, it's in Kapa. It'd be interesting. Oh, October 17th is Tyson Moises' birthday. That's why he calls it Portuguese Christmas. Okay, got it, got it, got it. So anyway, I wanted to put this up because this young girl has done so much, and whatever you can do to help, you can look her up, Kekua Aloha Foundation, or Kaylin Kaylynn Drake Drake Drake. She's on the on Facebook. You could hit her up there and see how you can help. She's looking for volunteers and all of that. They will be practicing safe protocols for this event. So please, if you can, go ahead and share what you can, share what you have. I mean, it's a very serious topic. This and she does a great job. So okay, I'm sorry. Paniolo Grill is across the road from Olympic Cafe. Thank you, Miss Brune. Right across from Olympic Cafe. So I posted that on my Facebook. So if you go to my page, you can scroll down. You'll find that flyer, and you can do what you can to help out. A very very important cause. So
Okay.
all right, Charles. Let me see what else I had on my. See, I gotta keep notes now. I gotta make notes. We kind of talked about the contact tracing. I mean, I think that's one that they gotta really ramp it up. They gotta really ramp it up. And that's pretty much it, man. Pretty much it. Tomorrow's D-Day, bro. Tomorrow's D-Day. Guys, tomorrow it starts. Tomorrow it starts. We start working to protect yourselves and your families. Tomorrow's the day. It's the day you gotta think before you do things. Think before you act, and make sure that we wear our masks. I know people sick and tired of hearing us talk about the mask, but that's one way we can do our best to protect ourselves and protect others.
You know, I just want to say, looking at the comments again, thank you so much, everybody. I know we look a little bit frustrated. It's just, when you're, I guess I feeling this way because it's just like it's like they throw you off the boat. They tell you tread water, but yet they get your hands handcuffed behind your back, and you just kicking for your life trying to tread water. I've always felt the playing field has not been leveled at all throughout this entire time. We're already in the last quarter. We get only 2 seconds left, and sometimes we make decisions. We just go for it, and if that Hail Mary pass, and we've done everything possible, but again, out there, just no give up, just be safe, because we won't come through this. And you know what? Like Dr. Evelyn said, with everything that he sees, he really feels that the LG going to be wrong. So that's why that's also a warning for all of us. We just got to be careful, because we can be right, but if you stay close by to that danger, you're gonna get tagged. And I've said it before. Don't get tagged. It's not worth it. We got our baby girl Lana on tonight. She got tagged from work. She can tell you it's not worth it. Okay, we had guests before, Russell Izumo. They all got tagged. They're gonna tell you it's not worth it. So just go the safe route. That's all I can say. And we just hope for the best. It's like a hurricane moving in right now. We got warning, it's coming. Let's hunker down and let's see what happens. Okay. One thing that we will not do, and I told Mel, no matter what happens, we will continue to come on nightly to talk to each and every one of you, because we're like one big ohana now. And, I see a lot of people just like to hear from us whether we'll talk about Snickers or not. Maybe tomorrow night I will talk about Reese's peanut butter cups. Who knows? Mel?
But let me know so I can get my Reese's too and my Snickers.
Let's do it, man. I haven't eaten my Reese's for a while now, but man, I'm getting the jerks right now. No more Reese's peanut butter cups.
Patsy said I'll have carrots. Why is this screen changing? But anyway, I know some of you have asked about the honor beads. Why with the beads with the suicide prevention event? Um, Honor beads are they're beads of different colors. Every color of the bead represents a different way that people are connected to suicide. So it's you can go to the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention's website online, and you can learn all about the beads. So it's just one way to get the word out. Again, awareness on suicide prevention. So, yeah, Charlie. Yeah, man. I mean, we're at the day before the day we would hope would never happen. See, I was hoping we would be able to open up when it was safe, and I guess to some extent, our decision makers have built in the safest mechanism they believe in, in place to keep us safe. So, as we've stated for so long, we got to take it upon ourselves. Guys, wear your mask, please. Can you just wear your mask? I drive around and I see, I must say, I think our number is probably up to 80, 85%. That's what I believe. I don't know who took the survey from Honolulu, wherever they did that. I don't know where they counted. I don't believe our mask usage is less than Oahu. I think I would guess there's a direct correlation. The higher your usage percentage, the lower your case count. The statistics that they took doesn't show that. It's the opposite. I know that's not true because like I said, I drive around a lot. My job takes me on the road, and 85% of the people that I see every day are wearing the mask. So, and I think that's a big reason
Just
why.
remember this. Someone had asked about the mask, and they said, "Well, I use mask, but I still got infected." Yeah, because remember, some people they're wearing the mask, they have no goggles, right? They're adjusting the mask, they're touching their face, boom, get in that way. So the best thing is, aside from wearing a mask, just don't touch your face. Sanitize first before you're gonna take the mask off. If you're gonna travel, make sure you wear goggles, okay? Because what did they say about the droplets getting into the membranes, the mucous membranes? Okay, so you folks just gotta do that. If you're gonna touch your face, sanitize first, even if it's to take off the mask. Okay, just remember
That
that.
that, that is the biggest tip. I think most people, and in fact, even myself, I forget at times. After you touch your mask, after you take off your mask, you need to sanitize your hands because everything on the outside of that mask, everything is on that mask. You touch, you take off your mask, and then you don't wash your hands, and then you touch your face. You cannot blame the mask for that. So you got to do them all. You got to wear the mask. You got to wash your hands. You got to social distance, and you got to stay away from gatherings. I mean, you got to do them all. You gotta.
This
And
is what I do, brother. If I take off my mask, I just take a small squirt of the sanitizer, scrub them up, take off the mask. When I get in the house, boom, sanitize again. Even if you worry about your clothes, take your clothes off out in the garage. I know the missus don't want me to do that, but take your clothes off out in the garage. No, the neighbor's dog, I hear going, ooh, when I take off my.
tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen, 7 o'clock. Auntie Stephanie and Auntie Patsy will be your host. Charlie and I are gonna take the night off. We're gonna hike Kalalau tomorrow. We're gonna camp overnight. Then we'll come out on Friday. We're gonna do a little bit of hunting, fishing, just he and I. And
And
Mother Nature. No.
we let you folks know if we get sighted or not.
So so tomorrow, Auntie Steph and and Auntie Patsy, and they're gonna have Governor Ige on as their guest. So it should be fun. Should be a fun night. We won't have internet connection while we're in Kalalau, but um, we'll watch the replay when we come back out.
My wife said, "For tell you, you keep it up, your clothes not gonna get washed for a week."
Look at this. You both have done an outstanding job. No, not that one. I saw it. Yeah. Thank you for your wives. It'll be an awesome show. Shoots, we're gonna see some good recipes. Yeah. So tomorrow night, I think it'll be a good show.
Yep. My wife can teach all of you how to boil water.
Oh,
Yeah,
bro,
yeah.
Patsy made this ulu. What do you mean you don't
Oh,
make it? Yeah, you cooked it. What? She brought the ulu. Yeah, the one I ate for breakfast. No, the one I brought ate for breakfast.
welcome to
Uh,
domestic hour.
no, so she fried, seasoned and fried this ulu that
Oh
I
boy,
had eat with my eggs this morning, bro. Golly, and that, very healthy, very healthy. Ulu is
you,
very
you
healthy.
gotta eat them with butter. Butter.
Had butter,
Yeah.
had butter, but the texture. I mean, if you haven't had ulu, you gotta eat ulu. It's so good. Her French toast is the best.
With ulu.
Stock up on toilet paper and Stickers candy. Thank you guys for everything. All right, we think we kind of going way off base already. So, Charlie, thank you again. Thank
Thank you,
you.
brother.
Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. We want to get out. What I wanted to do today, but unfortunately, I was running late tonight. Patsy and I had to go do an errand. What I wanted to do tonight was I want to hear from you guys. Like we do the what do you call that? What we do that? The talk story town hall Thursday. I hear from you guys, and tomorrow maybe we can do this tomorrow night. Maybe it because tomorrow is D-Day.
Right.
Tomorrow is I'm sure gonna be a lot of stories from people that maybe was at the airport or whatever. But you know what I like to talk about, Charlie? We can do this tomorrow night.
Hmm.
Is hey, you guys come on Zoom. Come on, we'll send you the link. You come on. You come on the screen with us and share with us something good that had happened because of the pandemic. Just something good, something that has happened. Like maybe you started a garden, whatever. But
Yeah.
just chat. Just like chat. Just hear from you guys on how this thing has impacted you, and just have some fun. Just have some fun and learn. And but you guys gotta come on. You guys gotta come on and just have some fun. But anyway, tomorrow night my heart rate is at 100. Angela Keen. I think all of us are. Tonight, like I said, before you go sleep, if you believe in the higher power, ask for God's blessings for tomorrow and going forward. Because
Remember one thing, Mel. You said it earlier. Gang, this state put us in this position. I'm gonna ask you, please, don't take it out on a traveler. Okay, please don't do that. I don't want anybody getting in trouble. Yeah, I love you all. Please just promise me, just don't take it out on them. Let's just we're gonna work through this thing. Just that the state just they work on their own timetable, which is like one iceberg melting slowly over time. Okay, so just please do that.
all right. So tomorrow we'll try to get some information on how the airport's going to be tomorrow. It's going to be interesting to see. I'm sure it'll be all over the news tomorrow. I'm sure the news reporter is going to be at the airport first thing in the morning to record what's going on. At the end of the day, we just hope everybody gets safe. Everybody stays safe. Just the workers, everybody.
Brother, you and me, I gotta be honest. If things go horribly wrong tomorrow, you and I gonna be the first one on air going, aha, see, I told you so. Because
Well,
I waited. I mean, I trying to be calm, cool, and collective, but oh boy, I don't know.
I don't know what the passenger load is tomorrow. I understand it's pretty significant,
Yep.
just from a few sources that I have. But I believe that I think tomorrow is going to be a chaotic day for a lot of people. I just hope that as the lines back up, as the place gets cluttered, that these guys are making sure that they're keeping people apart, that everybody wearing their mask. My biggest fear is where they'll, and I know this happened, even on Kauai it happened. I know this for a fact, that when the lines start getting long, the people at the table just tell the guys, you know what, but just go, just go, just go, just go. You're okay. Look at the people, just go. And that is my biggest fear, that we're gonna get that virus. Um, I've just got a text that tomorrow we're looking at 7,000 passengers coming in. That just came on a text message. 7,000. All right, I'm gonna go pray. Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. Stephanie and Patsy, Governor Ige.
Negative.
Okay, it'll be Mel and Charlie with Snicker bars and Reese's and carrots.
Carrots.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on the domestic hour. Thank you.
I'm gonna eat some ulu. I'm gonna eat some ulu for dessert. You guys take care, guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. Love you guys. Bless you. Stay safe. Hello.
Yeah.
Hey, how come? Go off.